We're live.
Another show. Yeah, we just keep piling them up, don't we?
Well, I think we're on like 117 or
It's
something.
unreal. And they said when it first started we wouldn't get a second one in.
Yeah, they said we'd never make it.
Well, we got 117 now.
Nobody's watching them, but
Before we start, congrats to Zach and Amanda. They'll be married Saturday. Your son.
oh yeah, we got
your daughter-in-law.
yeah, and that's exciting. But we also have another.
My son Ryan proposed last night. To Tia. She said yes, and we'll have another wedding down the road.
I call her Taya, but
So,
yeah.
Congrats to Ryan and Tia and Zach and Amanda and Bob Crean, who also watches our show. His daughter's getting married this weekend too. So
Tomorrow night.
Congrats
to Creener, and he just asked me to golf yesterday to swing by after the rehearsal dinner and have a drink with him.
There you go.
So I think we'll be doing that.
Nothing like swinging by for a cocktail, right?
Yeah, some people don't like to do that, but I was invited. He said to text him.
No, that's
There
a
will
good
be, because Bob is so filthy rich. There's a guard at the front of his reception.
Well, kidding, all kidding aside, we had some buddies that over the years would say,
Yeah.
I saw Mike McCarthy or
Yeah,
Jim
just-
Smith.
I-
and
I told him to
stop
show
in
up.
for drinks. You don't stop in for drinks unless you're invited by the bride or groom or family or something, right? I mean, it's just, but
I think Bob was one of the ways you may be able to do that and not be crazy is Bob said that he was under the minimum.
right.
So he's paying for more than he's using. And so maybe that's it. But
And
anyway.
true, it's usually the case too because a lot of the elderly people don't drink and eat if there's elderly people there
Tom?
and stuff. And
We're
We're
elderly. Yeah.
I know that wasn't an issue for me at the stag, but that's another day's story.
Well, no, you told it last week.
Yeah, we'll bring it up to vote on again.
Protein spill.
No thanks. Anyways, it's draft day.
Yes, it is. Exciting
And,
times.
it is exciting. As we've been saying before, we feel the Sabres are in the right direction. And again, I listened to Kevin Adams this morning, and what a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, especially since I hear he used the scope. So
well, you
You don't
don't
need a
want a
tongue
GM with the scrape.
You
And
can't-
I've worked with
can't
people
go
in
tongue
need of a
scrape.
scrape, and there's nothing worse. Unfortunately, a trade with us and the Ottawa Senators, which would have brought Matt Murray to Buffalo, the goaltender. He's got a 2-year deal left. Ottawa would have eaten some of his salary, and we would have got the 7th pick overall in exchange for the 16th pick
16th.
overall. That would have been a nice haul. Matt Murray wouldn't take. He's on Buffalo's on his no trade list, and he wouldn't budge.
he's got a lot of balls.
Well,
Fucking
it's his
Ottawa.
right to do one.
I
Two,
know, but-
I'm glad he has that clause because the last thing you want is to trade for a Matt Murray and have the guy bullshitting around. He doesn't want to be here.
Doesn't
We had
wanna be
enough
here.
of that.
Yeah.
And three, he's got some options. I mean, in his mind, maybe the Leafs. You know,
Yeah.
these guys think they're better than they are, maybe, and maybe he is that good. He did win a couple of cups, and I think he's looking at his options with the trade with the Rangers. Darcy Kemper's now available, but these guys are. Toronto can't afford the Kempers and the
No, they're right up against it.
the guy from St. Louis, Huzo or something.
Yeah.
So and Campbell, he's looking for. I don't think they're happy with Campbell. Period. But Murray thinks maybe, hey, this is 2:00 in the afternoon, whatever it is. Maybe something changes
Something
down
could
the line.
change before 7. I have a couple thoughts on Murray. So Murray did really well in Pittsburgh, and he didn't do as well in Ottawa. Of course, that's not a good team. Then he started out extremely slowly last year. It was really bad, looking really bad, like the old 894 save percentage. Apparently, he came back a little stronger toward the end of the year.
There was something they said. One of the goaltending stats. Oh God, what attempted should be saved.
Saves
Yeah.
above projected.
And he was 25th in the league, and out of 62 goalies that qualified, our two guys from last year were
97th.
58 and 59.
Yeah,
He
so they
was
basically
much better than our two guys.
what that really means is that you're
Should have
letting
had
in
my
cheap
sunglasses
goals.
for the show here with
I got mine, but you're not using them.
No,
so
I hear you.
I had no. So what that means is you're letting cheap goals in.
Right.
So goals above expected means, 20 shots on goal, they were flimsy. You should have stopped them all, but you only stopped 18.
And I think his 5-on-5 stats were pretty decent too. Either way,
Either way,
it's
it's
good
not
to
happening
know,
anyway. But
and it's
but
good to
it's
know Adams was looking.
but
It's
he's
a good
looking.
idea because I think like we said last week, Anderson is probably more important here for what he brings off ice than he is on ice.
Right.
His numbers weren't good enough, and of course he got hurt, and there's no way UPL. I mean, the Sabres are hoping he comes out of camp ready to roll,
Ready to go, but we don't know.
It's an 82 game season. You figure Anderson's probably 25 games.
Yeah.
It's a long haul in
That's a
UPL,
haul.
so it would be nice to get.
Who's the younger kid out in San Jose?
Hill,
Hill.
Aiden Hill, or something like
Aiden
that.
Hill. There's been a lot of rumors flying around about Aiden Hill. So
Well, and the Rangers made a trade today, sending one of their two goalies, who's not a bad goalie, but the other guy's just a lot better.
Georgiev.
And they got a third, fifth, and a third next year. So Aiden Hill doesn't have those kind of numbers, I don't believe.
Well, Georgiev was good 2 years ago. Georgiev had a really bad season as a backup to Shesterkin.
Right.
So anyway, listen. The good news is it seems like he's got the phone on. We're
Yep.
trying to figure this out. People were panicking when we got Anderson back. Like, oh my God, he thinks it's going to be enough. I don't think he thinks
No,
that.
the Sabres don't think that, and at all. And they're looking, and they also, I think, realize Stakarski's probably a better fit in the AHL.
Mm-hmm.
So, excuse me. So, he's looking, and who knows what's going to happen the rest of the day. Maybe we stand pat and take the 3 picks as they were, but man, that 7 and 9 would have been sweet.
That would have been sweet. Which leads us into a couple of discussions. We're going to talk a little bit about the 9th and 16th.
Real quick,
Yeah, go ahead.
They're close with Victor Olofsson.
Yep.
Adam said today they're close, and
Yep.
they are still trying to sign Ryan Johnson, who will be in along with Evan Levi for this developmental camp next week.
Yeah, my understanding with is that Kevin Adams was actually meeting with face to face with Johnson and his agent today, and what he wanted to get out of it was no games. Are you coming here or are you playing games?
Right. If you want to
'Cause
really
if
go
not,
back for your senior year,
yeah, you can go ahead, but you tell us if you really don't want to be here because we'll trade you.
right? And I think that's only fair. We've already
is fair.
invested money in the guy, and it was a first round pick in a very big trade.
Yep.
And if indeed you are intimidated by the challenge ahead of you with the talent we have on D right now,
Yeah.
then maybe you don't want to be part of the picture. But let's be upfront and let us know that, right?
So I was glad to hear that.
Senior year of college does nothing for that kid.
No, it absolutely
Goalies is a
doesn't.
little bit different, but not Ryan Johnson.
Not Ryan Johnson. And so anyway, we'll see about that. But I like the fact that Adams is kind of going in there with face to face, guns drawn, saying, what are we doing here?
Right. And
Now he still may BS's. Hello. There's the flag.
It's our Sabre honors today. Rick Martin, one of my favorite all-time Sabres, and
We love the Sabre.
God was that a draft pick and a half. But anyways, we got some ideas with wish list of what we'd like to see maybe, and narrowing it down by what we think might happen. And if we stay at 9, Wayne,
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things, right? I think we're only going to talk about 9 and 16 because, my God, by the time you get to 28, who the hell knows who's
Right.
left and what's going on. And by the way, 28, you're still a very low chance of playing 100 games in the league.
right.
So anyway,
But as we've said before,
anything can happen.
but the closer
Look at Olsen.
the closer
Seventh
you
round.
are to the first round has a better chance than the second round, and so
Second
on.
round, the third. Yeah.
JJ Peterka could be a nice force here for us in the next couple of years. Olofsson, a 4th or 5th round pick,
I think Olsen was 7th.
or
believe it or
7th.
not. 7th.
So anything's possible.
By
but
the way, I want him
please-
signed, and then you can trade him if you want. But I think the kid has rounded his game out.
I think when he got healthy again, he definitely is a sniper, and he scored off the power play too, which was good.
That's what I like. The 5-on-5.
Right.
I also liked he was dishing a little bit. He got some assists.
Yep, and
So it looked good.
he made his line mates around him better and stuff. So, anyways,
So here's the thing: is we're 9th. Okay, now we're going to assume for this show that we're not going to trade up, and if we don't trade up, here's some of the guys that we would be, I think, very interested in, but won't be there. There's a couple of right-hand defensemen. Juracek from Czech Republic, big kid, 6'3", 190. And I think the Sabres, if they ever were to go up or something falls to them, they're not going left-hand D. We need right-hand D in this
Right.
organization. The other guy is Nemec from Slovakia. He's about a little smaller, 6', 190. Both incredible puck handlers offensively, great D, and Both probably gone in the top 5.
Yeah. Well, top
But
6,
6 maybe.
7.
But you don't
That's
know.
splitting hairs. That's stupid.
You,
But
you don't
you're
know.
right.
You know.
Right hand D is everybody's looking for those guys, right?
Yep. Yep. Everybody is. And by the way, I was right hand, not D. But anyway, um, two guys from the U.S. Development Program that again, if either one of these guys somehow slip, I think you jump all over them at 9. Or maybe if they slip to 8 and maybe you jump ahead and give up 28 because Cutter Gauthier is a left wing center for the U.S. Development Program, 6'2", 190, big kid, highly talented.
Yep.
Basically, they're saying this kid is can't miss for top of the lineup.
Be very similar to me, I think, to Dylan Cousins.
Yeah, yeah,
Similar type player.
and he's got the same kind of stature.
Right.
And I guess they say his knowledge of the game is just off the charts. Another guy, U.S. Development Program, he's a center, which I guess we're trying to stock up on in the organization.
Well,
right
not
now.
only that, but versatility always
Yeah.
helps you there, right?
Yeah, if you can play center, you can play wing.
Let's
And
face
maybe
it,
not vice versa.
our centers last year didn't light up the world with face-offs, but that's a common thing with all young players.
Yeah, it is.
They have to get better at that.
So the kid, Logan Cooley, center for U.S. Development Program. Now, he's not as big. He's 5'10", 175. Of course, these are kids. I mean,
Right.
he'll develop. But another guy with talent off the charts, center that can get it done. Got it. I think if either of those two drop, I'd grab them. Now,
Oh,
as
got
far
it.
as far as the D, Juracek and Nemec, yes, they're worthy of a pick at 9 if somehow they got there. I know we need a right-hand D, but I'd rather bolster the forward lines right now.
Right.
I really would.
Me too.
Now, who could possibly be there at 9?
And having said that, our D right now is young, right?
Very young.
I mean, all those guys are young.
What I meant by bolstered is down
No.
at the farm.
Exactly, but our forwards we're not so set in stone yet there.
Correct.
And but talent is talent, right? The best guy at 9, if one of them D's there,
If it's
then
a D, you might have to take him. I wouldn't be screaming about it.
No.
I really wouldn't. I mean, you know,
names linked to us through the sources we have, listening to NHL Network and obviously the
reading the
paper
national
and
stuff.
seems to be Frank from the U.S. developmental team. Frank, oh God, I can't think of his name now.
I don't have anybody Frank at 9.
U.S. developmental. Oh, sugar.
Let's stay with 9 because
Right.
yeah, Frank Nazar, but
Nazar.
that he's a little later, I think.
Well, he's been listed at 9 on some. Matthew Savoy.
Matthew Savoy, now he's an interesting guy. Just a great goal scorer and passer. He was 7th in scoring in the WHL, and but he's not big. Now, back in the day, you had to be bigger. You got crushed in the NHL, but there's just not that much hitting anymore. And this kid's only 5'9", 175. So, but again, he'll grow, but he's not a real big kid. And he is a center / right wing.
And he also plays the power play and killed penalties for his junior team.
He's done
that day.
everything, yeah. I think it's between, this is personal, you can tell me differently. To me, it's between Savoy and Jan Lekarmaki, the right wing from the SHL, Swedish League.
What about
Hold on, let me talk about him for a minute. He's 5'10", 165, right winger. He led the U18 world in scoring.
all right.
That's pretty good. He's not only played in their junior leagues over in Sweden. Now we've seen this with Isaac Rosen. He couldn't break into the men's league. This guy did.
Soap on a rope too,
Well, when you shower with men. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it now personally, unless somebody drops, I think it's between Savoy and Lekarmaki. There's a couple other we can talk about. You were going to say something.
Well, I want to get back to the shower with men just for a second. People laugh and stuff, but it's so important. A lot of the comments from the Euros are that they did play with men, and enhancement means showering and all that because there is envy. And
We're going to get into PE again?
the soap on the rope joke is a lot of times they'll drop the soap on the stall to see if the younger player would bend for it, and then of course they pull it back. But anyways, another name, Connor Geeky, a Western Canada kid.
Yes, WHL.
He's a big kid.
Huge kid. Got great reach. 6'3", 196. They liken him to like a Tage Thompson, although Tage is taller.
By the way, congratulations, Tage Thompson, on the birth of his son.
Yeah, he had a son. This guy's interesting because I think it really does correlate to to Tage Thompson in that he's got everything that you can need to be in the NHL, except he badly needs to improve his skating. And what did we say?
Now I know.
What did we say when we first got Tage Thompson? He used to. It seemed like he fell a lot. He didn't have those turns. He wasn't on his edges. Well, it sounds like this Geeky is the same way now. Because he's being talked about at 9, the guy's not a bum. That's not what we mean.
They haven't seen me skate yet.
Yeah, or me, or Boots McGee.
But I think you're right. The European guy you mentioned is very intriguing. And remember the
Necromaki.
Sabre ties to the U.S. developmental team with Appert and, of course, our coach, Granato.
Right.
There's ties there. What that all means, maybe absolutely nothing.